Hi, I'm Diana Scothorn, founder of the Benefit Link. One of the things that we see a lot is the discrepancy of prior authorization with Advantage plans. What is prior authorization? It's where you have to go through and the doctor has to have authorization to release treatment for you. It can cause a lot of angst as far as worry and stress if you're in a situation where you need authorization to have treatment immediately or to determine the course of your treatment. I had a situation with a client where she had been a client for years and years. I've been here for 30 years, so I see all types of situations, but this one is fresh on my mind. This just took place last year, and what had happened was this particular client that was 84 years old had always been on a Medicare supplement since the beginning when she turned 65. And she saw a commercial last year on TV that ran between um, October 15th to December 7th about these Advantage plans. And she thought, you know what, that looks pretty good. It says it's going to cost me absolutely nothing. And she was thinking that, well, I'm just going to do it. I'm perfectly healthy. She didn't take any prescriptions. She did have macular degeneration. So she did see a doctor for her eyes. She was getting injections in her eyes. And because of that, she did not drive. Now, she lived alone. She was very capable of handling everything herself. She did have a daughter that was 62 that would drive her to the doctor's appointments, but had no interaction as far as what her financial situation, what she did, the mother handled all that. So the daughter had no idea that the end of last year, her mother had signed up for an Advantage plan. Well, her mom's yearly physical falls every year in December. And when she went in December, the blood work came back just a little bit suspicious. And so they sent her to run some tests, and it ended up that she had lymphoma cancer. So this was right before Christmas last year, not this Christmas. And the daughter immediately scheduled an appointment to see a specialist after the first of the year because this was just right before Christmas. So the first week in January, they were scheduled to see this doctor. Now, the daughter calls me, and this is how I know, because she was totally exasperated as far as what she was going through. What had happened was after the first of the year, when her daughter made this appointment, they drive over to the appointment where they live, and they, just like they do at the beginning of the year, they take all your information, your insurance information, and the first thing they tell her is, I'm sorry, we don't take this coverage. And so that was the first thing. The place she went didn't take the coverage. So they said, you're going to have to go to a facility and get prior authorization on this plan. The daughter said, well, I thought my mom had a Medicare supplement. She always has. And that's when she found out, Mom, have you done something? And she found out her mother had changed to an Advantage plan. So here's where the prior authorization comes in. They go back, and immediately the daughter gets on the phone to get a referral because she first, before she could have authorization, had to be able to see a doctor. The referral takes 6 weeks for her to get. Her daughter was completely overwhelmed with this. Her mom's 84. She's got cancer. They're waiting, 6 weeks just to see a doctor. When they get the referral, there's only one name. That's very disheartening. It's not like they had a whole selection, one name. And the name they got was 60 miles away. So guess what? That's where they go. Then they drive 60 miles. Keep in mind, I just want you to feel the gravity of this. I know we're talking about prior authorization, but when you need help, you don't want to have to jump through hoops and fires and do everything in the world just to be able to get to the point of getting prior authorization. But here she's thinking, I have one specialist that has been referred to me. So if my mother does have to have treatment ongoing, I still work. This is what she's telling me. I still work. It's an hour to go there. If she has to have chemo or radiation, I'm not going to be able to just go back and get her. I'm going to have to wait the 2 hours, then go back. It was turning out to be a pretty big thing. They drive all the way there. Guess what? The person up the front comes out, takes all her information, and she says, I'm so sorry, we cannot see your mother today. Now keep in mind, they had an appointment. that was scheduled a few weeks prior. And she said, "You're kidding me." She said, "We have waited 6 weeks just to get a referral. We were told that this facility would take this insurance, this doctor would take this insurance, and now you're telling me we can't be seen?" They were very apologetic, very kind, and they said, "Yes, ma'am, we are so sorry. We've been waiting for authorization to be released from the Advantage Plan so we can start the course of treatment or even begin to tell you which direction to go." So they had not even had prior authorization. So the insurance company, these Advantage plans, they determine not only if it's necessary and it can be approved, but they determine whether or not the authorization is even going to be released. And so these are things that I think people need to be aware of. It just seems like that people think, oh, well, that's not going to pertain to me. It is pertaining to you. It's pertaining to anybody who has an Advantage plan because these are the risk factors that are taken. And I'll just say one more thing, and I say this passionately because I've been here for over 30 years. You can have been on an Advantage plan for 4 or 5 years and not one thing has happened. You've never had to have prior authorization. But what's going on right now with these Advantage plans being under federal investigation, the denial rate since the last 5 years increased by 9 times, millions and millions of dollars of claims being denied every single year. Let me say this, you are definitely at high risk even if nothing's happened. I tell people jokingly but seriously, the time to get on the Titanic is not after it's hit the iceberg. You know, even people on the Titanic, it was people down below in the lower level partying, having a great time, and the whole time the ship was going down. You need to be aware. Had they been aware, a lot of those people died down there because they didn't know they needed to get out and get rescued. I just want everybody to be aware that there are denials, there are authorization denials, there are pre-authorizations that are required, and all these things hinder the progress of your treatment and of your health. So if you have further questions, please click the link below. You can call the number on the screen. We're here to help you in any way we can. God bless you. Have a great day.